Good morning, traders. Hope you had a good weekend. Today, we're going to start off, of course, with our weekly watch list, and we're going to go into the economic calendar that I got pulled up, which we use, remember, forexfactory.com. We do trade Forex on the Discord, and this covers a lot of the economic events in the US. If you want I think Market Watch has a more in depth calendar in regards to just US based events like oil, stuff like that. But right here, not a whole lot going on this week. We've got CPI for the Australian dollar. You've got consumer confidence on USD Tuesday. A lot of GDP and CPI reports here for the euro. I think the US has the GDP and the unemployment claims. Then you've got Tokyo Core CPI. You've got retail sales for the Australian dollar. The euro's got CPI flash. Canadian dollar's got GDP, and then we actually don't trade CNY on the server, but no real big red flags. I think that there's no real roadblocks. If your strategy says go long, go short, I would just take it, and I wouldn't really worry about any of these folders. They're not going to really move it too much. If there's a fundamental basis behind your trade, then I would keep it on, especially with something like, if you are short against the dollar with the rate cuts that are looming and you've got CPI or unemployment claims, I'd go ahead and keep that trade on because Powell already came out last week and said that, rate cuts are in the near future. So the US dollar, we're going to see a little bit of weakening there. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start with something a little different this week. TradingView has dropped their Elliott wave theory indicator, which I think is phenomenal. And this will kind of fall into some of our plays. Those of you that aren't familiar with wave theory, it usually has 5 waves. That is an impulse up. And then you got ABC correctives, like this wave 3, right? So wave 4 is going to be an ABC since it's a corrective wave. If you want to learn more about Elliott wave theory, guys, over on our Discord, we actually have a bunch of people that are very well versed in harmonic wave theory. We kind of got away from the classical version because it has some flaws, and harmonic kind of points out those flaws and brings them to light. But I thought that was cool. I think TradingView, this new indicator, is awesome. I think they put a lot of time into it. Check it out if you've got time. Don't use it as a certainty. Use it more as like a guide. Don't use it as a GPS where it says take a left turn here. Use it as a general guide. Like, okay, I'm gonna basically back in the day when people would take road trips before they had MapQuest and GPS, you'd have to go buy Map Atlas at the gas station or like a travel center, like a welcome center. Those rest areas you stop and use the restroom at actually used to have a lot of purpose. And what you would do is you buy a map for that area. Well, it was like a general guide, like, hey, I know that I'm going to stay on 95 here. And then when you started getting close, that's when you really would start to fine tune your trip. So think of it as like Atlas, and you're just using it as a guide to get where you're going. Like, okay, I need to stay on 95 east for X amount of miles. That's what this is right here. This wave 5 up is okay. I know that I'm gonna have to probably turn off around 150 here, because they're calling a top at 154. And the great thing with wave theory is don't take it as a definite, because that wave can extend to the 786 Fibonacci line. So 618 is the golden ratio, as you'll learn when you dive into that. But that is not what we're talking about here. What we're getting to is our watch list for the week. One of those plays right now is NVIDIA. Market is now open. I'm looking at taking NVIDIA long after it has reclaimed the 50-day moving average. You get the 9 and the 21 crossing. It's held up here. It's kind of bumping into all-time highs. Tech's been hot with rate cuts coming. I know that historically rate cuts have brought in a recession, but I think if you go back and actually look at it, when the rates were cut, it wasn't until later that the downside ensued. To any effect, I like NVIDIA here as we started off with the wave theory. I like NVIDIA here long over 130. Okay. I don't really want us to take it anywhere short. Right now, we're kind of starting to break out towards the top. As always, wait for the break, pullback, retest. That's your confirmation to get in. AMD is another chip stock that I'm looking at. This is kind of the same thing. This is claimed 2 of the bigger moving day averages right here. The dotted green line, as you'll see on my chart, as always, is the 200-day moving average. The blue line is the 50-day. It has recovered both of those, and you have the 9 and the 21 crossing. The RSI is bullish. The MACD is also turning over, and our trend indicator that we have as an invite only script has turned green. That's showing that the trend is remaining up. Right here, you can take a little gamble, take it long right here, or you can wait for the confirmation push over about 163, and then we can look to go long there. Next on my list is Amazon. Amazon's got this gap to fill below. It failed to reclaim the 50-day moving average. Now, if this does go back over the 180 mark, I could look to probably take that long. As you see down here, we got the alert on the video at 131 basically. So look to take that long this morning. But on Amazon, we're looking for this gap fill back to about 174 to 173, 172 area. Could backfill into that, or as you see, it's kind of riding the moving averages, moving up. I like this as a bullish momentum play right here. I would scalp something short if the opportunity presented itself, but with the trend indicator showing that we have a firm upside movement, MACD's curling, and the RSI showing strength, I wouldn't fight the bull on a lot of these plays that we're going to look at. ARM is kind of the same thing. It came down, found support at the 200-day moving average, came back up. Now it's trying to fight the 50-day at about 137, 138. All these indicators down here, as I said before, the RSI, MACD, and our trend indicator, all green. I would look to play this long if the opportunity presents itself with a move over the 50-day moving average at 138. Okay. Now, getting into the bank sector, one of my favorite stocks to play is Bank of America. It recently broke this downtrend. I don't know exactly why. I know after earnings, we saw a little bit of a slump, and then we just saw this massive pullback. I think all the banks and all financial institutions had that pullback with the market, basically jackknifing down. And to that effect, it is pulled back. It is reclaimed, found support here. Once again, the 200-day moving average. We have gone back over the 50-day moving average. It's at the $40 whole number right now, which is a great point of. I have this line right here because that's the prior top of this consolidation mark. I would probably take it over 40.35, 40.25 basically. And you could probably ride this back up to $44. So Bank of America is another name that I would watch if there's a movement over $40, 40.35. Look to take this name long. Might actually post some swing plays here in a second on that. All right, we're going to go ahead and talk about the crypto sector real quick. Crypto's been hot. This is our algorithm here on Sol. And Sol, we had this breakout over this trend line a while back, and it failed. The markets and crypto both dumped, right? So we came back here on the retest. It came back up. I was alerting this to about 200. We got to about 194 until it inevitably just fell out of the sky. That's fine. This happens. Now we're breaking that same trend line again on the further end after we've found some footing on crypto here on Sol. On this example right here, sell side liquidity, and we got some order blocks here at about 120, 126. What also is nice about this is you see up here, we've got the bullish trend. The trend is rated at a 5.8 out of, I think this scales out of 10 or 11. But we did get a buy signal 2 days ago. So it's kind of flagging. Looks like it just has some consolidation. I'm looking for this to pop up over 163 and continue up. I still have a position in Sol. I got a starter position when we broke over this line right here at about 160, 161. I think Crypto Daddy took it with me, and he was like, man, I should have waited. Probably should have waited because this fair gap got halfway filled right here. Still got a little bit of a fair value gap to fill, so this could come back down all the way to 154. I wouldn't be afraid of it if it did. I'm not looking to get out of this position unless it breaks down below 140, 135 area. I'm looking for this also to come back up here, retest this 190 area, and continue the $200 hold number. Switching back with that algorithm loads on BTC, we're going to look at a crypto-related stock, and this is going to be Coin. Coinbase recently, just as some of these other names, has found its footing at the 200-day moving average. All of our indicators down below, RSI, MACD, and the trend indicator, all confirm the bullish sentiment going back for a potential reversal. It's kind of trading in this channel. This could be a bear flag if you draw the lines right here. Let's just go ahead and kind of crudely draw these lines. This could play out as a bear flag. The thing that would really show me that it's not a bear flag is if it broke over this 50-day moving average at 216 and we continued up to our move right here at resistance 1. I have resistance 1 at 264.50 and then next resistance about 284. So just look for these moves on coin itself. The other two names that are crypto related and are some of my favorites is Mara. This is a crypto mining company. It has reclaimed huge green candle right here the other day, reclaimed the 200-day, and we're knocking on the door of the 50-day moving average. Over about $19, I would look to take this long. I've been accumulating shares since we were at 15. I always buy Mara when it's at a level of support, and this is a huge level of support down here at 15. I mean, if you bought down here at 15, sold the rip at 22, bought down here at 15, you could have ridden that up for 100% gains. It's just one of these stocks that I like to buy the fear on. Another crypto mining company that comes to mind is Riot. Riot used to actually run harder than Mara back in the day, but I don't think their financials are as strong. This has the same basis. It's at a strong level of support. This chart is not as strong. I don't like Riot as much. I wouldn't play options on this. I would just accumulate shares, and I would keep my stop below the previous low. So maybe buy 1,000 shares here at 839 and have your stop loss at $7. I mean, if you bought 1,000 shares, it's $1,000 loss. But you're looking at the upside of 13, so it's a 5-to-1 R for R there. Just a little thought. Getting back into the crypto sector here again. Bitcoin, okay, looking at the daily time frame. This area I just think is just a huge area of consolidation. From the top here of 74,000 down to, I'd say, support right there at like 57,000. This little wick candle that we had down here that came down to about 50K, that's just a normal crypto liquidation move, is what I like to call it, is where it just liquidates positions. And it's, people think it's the market makers or brokers trying to screw you. No, that's perfect human emotion right there. The crypto sector is filled with people that get scared when they see red. They're only used to seeing green and monumental gains. So when they see red, they panic, and that you can see human emotion right there perfectly. To any effect, we see that we have a market structure shift in Bitcoin pushing up. There's a fair value gap to backfill right here. So this could come down to about 60K, I'd say again. But we did have the buy signal on this candle. Trend indicator's green, MACD's curling, and the RSI looks great. I'm looking for this to not only retest the recent highs of 74,000, I'm looking for this to finally break out and the prophecy of 80,000, 90,000 come into play here. Don't quote me on that. I don't think it's going to happen this week. I know this is a weekly watch list, but I will keep monitoring BTC and giving you my thoughts on that. Okay, so now back to regular stocks, instead of crypto. We're going to go ahead and get back into it. Another name that I've been watching is Costco. Costco is at the knocking on the doors of all-time highs. Pretty simple analysis here. It's the recent high is 896.33. I wouldn't take it there. I would wait for the break of 900, the whole number, and you can look to take it long over that. Another name that's been hot on my list. I actually bought a car from them once, and it was a pretty good experience. I still have the car. I actually just gave it to my brother, Forex Daddy, who's in the Discord. Carvana. This has been on a bullish uptrend. At first, it found some turbulence when this stock first came out with its IPO. It launched everything, but this was the crazy time of COVID and used car prices and everything else, and then it fell off a cliff. Now, this could be considered a rising wedge pattern, I guess. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. More of like an expanding triangle. But to any effect, the move here is bullish up, and it just keeps making higher highs and lower lows. So I would be willing to pay or play Carvana over 160. Just play it over the round number of 160 there. No interest in taking it short unless it breaks that immediate uptrend. Next on our list is going to be Google. Google's been another name that's kind of fallen off since its recent high. It just backfilled back here to fill this gap. Bounced off the 200-day moving average. It's kind of holding the 9 and the 21. Everything for me is still bearish here according to these indicators. It's under the 50. It recovered. It's kind of like in limbo here between the 50 and the 200. Our oscillators and the trend indicator down here are pointing towards a bullish directional movement back up. But unless it reclaims the 50-day moving average, I have no interest in playing this one long. Or I'm sorry, no interest in playing this one long. Robinhood, one of my favorite names recently. This is the same pattern you're going to see on a lot of stocks after this fallout, like I said. But it reclaimed. We're having moves up. We had a great move from $20, $21 last week. I think that's how we closed out the week. That was a Friday move. Anything, if this continues to post a higher high here, I would look to take this name long. Another name that is knocking kind of similar to Costco from earlier is going to be Meta, Facebook, whatever you want to call it. We have an all-time high right there at 545. It knocked on the door and got rejected last week. We're looking for this to either make a move back up and retest that, or this will continue to fall and approach the 50-day moving average at the $500 whole number. RSI has started to curl back over. MACD's crossing zero line, still looks bullish. And the trend indicator is starting to curl back down, but I think that we've got more upside there than we do downside. Next on my list is another stock that's making all-time highs and has found consolidation at those all-time highs, and that is Netflix. The recent high, it pierced the $700 whole number. Right here, you don't have to wait for it to get back to its recent high of 715. I would probably play it over the $700 whole number and take that long. Another chip sector name is going to be MU here. MU has failed to reclaim the 200-day moving average and has fallen back below. RSI is starting to curl over, but the MACD and the trend indicators still show bullish movement. If this posts a lower low and continues back up, you can look to take it long, or you can scalp it in the short term as it makes lower lows. Got a couple more here, and we've already talked about NVIDIA. I've talked about my stance on that. You see that NVIDIA tried to break out earlier. We got that alert, and then it kind of pushed itself back down. So we're going to wait to see what we got there. Another IPO that just came out was Reddit. Reddit has claimed the 50-day moving average after breaking down from this rally move up to the recent high when it first got released for trading. If this 50-day moving average holds, we can look to take it long. If it fails to hold, we can look to just ride this right back down short. Okay. But the trend indicator lit up green as it reclaimed that 50-day moving average. It's just something to look at as we go a little bit higher. Last but not least, everyone's favorite, Tesla, Elon Musk. The immediate downtrend was broken here. 50-day moving average was reclaimed along with the 200. RSI is kind of just consolidating. It's still bullish. Trend indicator lit up green as it broke that trend line. And the MACD is now curling, looking to retest that zero line. I would look to take this name long if we can break this almost immediate trend line right there. Or look to play this short under 212. Once again, guys, that's how we're going to wrap this up. Look for another watch list on futures and Forex. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to comment. Let me know your thoughts and follow along for more. Until next time.